A wild animal attacks you. And then you don't want a biological response because you feel that the biological response is a bit of a letdown. You feel intelligence and biological response do not go together. But please appreciate something. The wild animal is Prakriti. The wild animal is a body, and the wild animal is attacking your body. Is that not very similar to a virus or bacteria attacking your body? Please. What do both want? Your body. What does a tapeworm want? To exploit your body. To eat out of your body. And that's exactly what a lion or wolf also wants, right? Now when a lion attacks you, you say, no, I should not come up with a biological response because a biological response is a conditioned response. And all conditioned responses are bad. Only intelligent responses should be there. If you say such things, then the debate needs to be about biology rather than spirituality. Your body is being attacked by wild animals all the time. Lions attack you once in a while, maybe never in a lifetime. But other organisms are attacking you all the time. Is that right? Now, do you want to give an intelligent response to them? To how many of them are you going to give an intelligent response? You are saying that you should not give a biological and conditioned response to an organism that attacks you. That's what is coming out from this excerpt, right? Krishnamurti is saying, no. If you respond to an attacking beast in a conditioned way, in a biological way, then it is not good. And he is saying, the moment it is a conditioned response, there is fear involved in it and it is transmitted to the animal. But not if the response is an intelligent response. So, we don't want a biologically conditioned response. How will you then respond to a bacteria that is invading your body? You cannot respond. You have to let biology respond, right? You have to let your biological conditioned immunity respond. And that is utmost intelligence. So let's come to something subtle. Many a times intelligence lies in letting conditioning operate. And that is what is missing from this excerpt, Alok, that you have sent. You have to go a little higher than this excerpt. You have to go a little beyond Krishnamurti. Intelligence and biological conditioning are not opposites. It is not a good man versus bad man game. All that is so childish, is that not? That you should not give biological responses, you should only give intelligent responses. Now you are gulping down some food and your body is responding to the food in a conditioned way. Don't you want the body to respond in a conditioned way? Or do you want to respond in an intelligent way? The only intelligent way here is to let the body respond in its usual conditioned way. Similarly, when the lion attacks you, the body knows what to do. Why? Because lions have been attacking you since millions of years. It is not the first time that a lion or a wolf is attacking you. Your conditioned system knows very well what to do when a lion attacks you. Please let the conditioning operate. Don't try to be too intelligent. No guru will save you. Not even Krishnamurti will save you. See this? All of you? Did you just see what he did? He tried to dodge. He tried to dodge. Now, was that biological or was that intelligent? That was purely biological. And the intelligent thing is to let the biological response remain. What if I throw a rock at you and you say, no, I will not let the biological response be there because that is a conditioned response. That is just Prakriti. And all Prakriti is conditioned. So let the rock come and hit you, or meditate, or observe. The Prakritic thing is to swerve away. The Prakritic thing is to just dodge. And that is the right thing. In matters of Prakriti, listen to Prakriti. The beast that is attacking you is purely Prakriti. The thing that he wants to eat is purely Prakriti. The lion does not want to eat your soul, or does it? What does the lion want to eat? Your body, and your body is Prakriti. So it is Prakriti attacking Prakriti. Let it be a matter of Prakriti. The role of the Purush is to watch Prakriti. Not say Prakriti is bad, biological response is bad and I will have an intelligent response. The intelligent response is to let things happen. Let things happen. The lion is not trying to condition your mind, is he? Had he been trying to condition your mind, then it would have been a matter of intelligence. The lion does not know what mind is. The lion is just stomach, intestine, teeth and juices, digestive juices. And he has no personal animosity against you. You are just some food. Same with all the bacteria that attack your body all the time. Let biology take care of the bacteria and the fungi. And there are, I assure you, millions of them attacking you all the time. Kindly don't block the biological response. These are matters of Prakriti. The body is a product of Prakriti, and Prakriti has given the body good training to save itself from evolutionary threats. A lion is an evolutionary threat because the lion has been attacking you since millions of years. So the body very well knows how to handle the lion. When it comes to such matters, just listen to the body. Don't even listen to the body. Stop being and let the body function. Getting it? But when it comes to matters of society, when it comes to matter of love, lust, greed, influence, when it comes to money, family, rituals, then pause, then reflect, And then ask yourself, why do you want to marry that woman? Here, if you find that the attraction is merely prakritik, male body attracted to female body, that is prakriti. Male baboon attracted to female baboon, all that is prakriti. Now here, if there is a conditioned and biological response, then you should not let it happen. Do not, within quotes, fall in love with a woman because your body tells you to. But do run away from a lion if your body tells you to. And these two cases are different. Don't mix them up. Purush and Prakriti revel with each other. Prakriti is not an enemy. It's just that you should not unnecessarily mess up with her. It is one thing to keep a loving distance. It must be a strange phrase to you. Loving distance, yes. The role of Purush is to maintain a loving distance from Prakriti. Otherwise, there is a mess. But maintaining a loving distance is not the same as reluctance to engage. It is not the same as active hatred. We cannot keep denouncing biology. No end. It is subtle. It is not as black and white as don't touch bad things. And Prakriti is a bad thing. Go and tell that to Krishna. In the middle of his ras, don't touch bad things. And all Prakriti is so bad. Yamuna is Prakriti. The gopis, their full bodies, they are all Prakriti. The peacocks, the cows, they are all Prakriti. And why is Krishna dancing in middle of them? Be close to Prakriti. Don't force yourself upon her. And it is such a contradiction for us. Either we are away, separated, distant, or if we come close, then we can't control ourselves and we jump upon Prakriti. No. Come close and yet maintain a loving distance. She likes you close by, but she doesn't like you upon her. Look at how Golu is sitting. That will tell you about the right relationship between intelligence and biology. If you want to make him sit and listen, would you succeed? But leave him to himself and see how he is listening. Prakriti too is at her prakritic best when she dances all around you. The moment you too start dancing, the dance gets distorted. Because you are an outsider in the dance. Only Prakriti knows how to dance. Purush must be a watcher. You are such a lousy dancer. And by attempting to dance, you are making a fool of yourself and spoiling the show. Not dancing along with Prakriti is not the same as I will not dance, neither will I let you dance. Please. The right relationship is you dance because you are the one who loves action and motion and changes and such stuff. You dance. You do what you are for. I will do what I am for. That is one thing. But to take it to a crazy extreme and say, no, Prakriti is bad because she dances. So don't allow her to dance. And if you see her dancing, then run away. If you are running away from Prakriti, then you have become Prakriti because only Prakriti knows motion and running away is an act of motion. If you run away from Prakriti or if you are afraid of Prakriti, then you have forgotten your Purush nature and have turned into Prakriti. Even if you say that it is bad to keep company with Prakriti, you have still turned into Prakriti because all conclusions are in Prakriti. Purush knows no conclusions. In observation, there is just observation, no conclusion. So please, Alok, don't go on a tryst with a tiger. Your question suggests me that you are seriously contemplating some wild action. You say, do I need to put myself in a dangerous situation to get some understanding? I don't see how JK is encouraging questioners to invoke fear in a session to understand fear. What dangerous condition are you thinking of, Alok? No amount of spirituality that you have cooked up will save you from the claws and fangs of an illiterate tiger. You might be the most learned person. All the scriptures you have read and now Krishnamurti. But if you go to a tiger, the tiger is very unread, totally illiterate. He has not read anything. So you have all the great thoughts and principles. The tiger has nothing. The tiger only has a stomach. And the stomach is empty. Or if you want to go to the tiger, then first of all teach JK to the tiger. And both of you should agree that biology is bad. You are saying, biological responses are bad, and the tiger is also saying that biological responses are bad. And then the tiger sees that the stomach is hungry. And the limbs of the tiger want to give a biological response to the inner hunger. What is the biological response of the limbs and the teeth to the hunger of the stomach? The tiger attacks Alok. The tiger must see that all biological responses are invalid. You are Prakriti, Alok. Why do you want to deny that? Without a body, would you be asking this question? without your entire biological apparatus. Would you know anybody called Acharya Ji? With no hands, how would you pick up a book to read? With no eyes, how would you read? With no brains, what would you remember or interpret? Which word would have a meaning to you? There is no need to be so disrespectful towards conditioned biology, and all biology is conditioned. Every cell in the body is conditioned. So what? You do live as the body, don't you? And thank biology, have some gratitude. In the Eastern tradition, parents are thanked and then Guru is thanked. It is not only the Guru who is thanked, parents too are thanked. Though the reverence to the Guru is kept a little higher, traditionally. And finally it is said that the Guru is the ultimate father and the ultimate mother. But the parents too must be respected. Why are the parents to be respected? Because they have given you your biological self. And that is no small thing. Who will approach the truth if there is no body? It's a contradiction, yes. But nevertheless, an existing contradiction. These cells are all conditioned, Alok, and they work beautifully in their conditioning. So have some respect for that conditioning. In fact, you will be in danger if the cells start working in a way that is different from their conditioning. You know about my skin, right? Generally, the skin cells are conditioned to multiply at a rate X. And grow up at a corresponding rate. My body has forgotten the conditioning. Instead of X, cells in my body are multiplying at 20X. That is not nice, Alok. I would rather remain conditioned. Please return my conditioning to me. Your eyelids are conditioned to blink. What if they forget their conditioning? What? Do not teach Atma to the body, please. In matters that are purely physical, trust your physical structure. I am talking of matters that are purely physical, like a lion approaching Alok. There is no spiritual dimension to this situation. The lion is hungry, you are tasty. Full stop.